Hello, friends. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the October 2020 energy forecast for life path number 9. So, nines, October is a 5 universal month. And what that means is that collectively, we could be seeing influences of that 5 energy, which includes lots of change, lots of transformation. Oftentimes it's unexpected change, but sometimes, we know when things need to change, we just don't do anything about it. And so when the 5 energy comes in, sometimes that will step in and kind of help us along the way. And so you may see a lot of change, transformation coming in this month. The best way to sort of mitigate that energy or work with it is to really go with the flow, to surrender to what the universe, where the universe is trying to take you. The more that you can go with the flow, the more that you can pick up the oars and try and not try to control so much, then the easier, or the more comfortable, I should say, the more comfortable this energy will be to move through. Another aspect of the 5 energy is the desire for expansion, travel, exploration, adventure, stepping outside of your comfort zone, taking some risks, that sort of thing. And so if that comes in for you this month, then definitely I encourage you to embrace that. If you can't physically travel somewhere, then perhaps you can take, read a good book that allows you to travel with the mind, or take an online course, learn a new language, something like that, something that allows you to expand in some way or open your mind in some way. One of the sort of key elements of the 5 energy is all about balance and moderation. And so there sometimes is an opportunity for living in excess or, overextending yourself in some way. And so whether you're living in an extreme, so if you are, overspending, or, I don't know, living in an extreme of some kind of physical or emotional area of your life, then this is an opportunity to find that balance, to bring yourself back to the middle and have that sense of moderation. So that's really, really important with this energy, is that we don't sort of fall into either extreme, okay? And so if you do find yourself living in some sort of extreme, whether again that's emotional or physical, then this is an opportunity to sort of take stock of that, be aware of it, and start to move towards finding that balance, okay? And so you may see those themes come in this month as well. So I want to break down the month of October for you to kind of see the energies for each week. I think October has more than 4 weeks, but I'm going to break it down into 4 weeks, and because the energy is really sort of fluid. So take what resonates and of course leave what does not. This first week of October, we have this feeling of the need to control. So this desire to control the situation, almost like extreme attachment, or the need to cling to something. And oftentimes when we do that, it's because we're in fear of losing something. And if we're in fear of losing something, that means that we're overly attached to it. And so there's this desire, or this need, or this energy around finding a way to release attachment to those things that you're clinging to. And so you can have a healthy relationship with people, with things, with money, with whatever, without being overly attached to them. When we allow things to flow in and out of our lives, and we allow things to circulate, where we don't have that deep-seated desire to control or cling to, then we fall into a much healthier balance. And so again, nines, if you are clinging to something or someone at this time, or there's a really unhealthy attachment to someone or something, then this is really a call to find ways to get into a more healthy relationship with whatever that is. And so again, when you can not be attached to it, but allow it to flow to you, that's a much healthier relationship than trying to control every aspect. Okay. And so I'm really getting this feeling strongly of the need to control. And that can be the need to control your own life, the need to control your own circumstances. And we know how that works out, right? That never works out. We are not able to control every aspect of our lives. It's, this life is an experience. And so a lot of that experience we don't have any control over. We just have control over how we move through the experience. And so if you find yourself clinging to anything at this time out of fear of losing it, or out of fear of lack or loss or whatever the case may be, then this is an opportunity to get into a healthier relationship with whatever that is, okay? And a lot of times when we cling to something so tightly or we're so overly attached to something, that's when we see sort of a tower moment come in. That's when the universe steps in and says, okay, we need to, this needs to go away so that you can see your strength, so that you can see that you're capable of surviving without it. Or, you will find an additional resource to that helps you move through whatever this is. So we sometimes believe that we need something when in fact we don't need it at all. It's simply a resource. And if we overuse that resource, then we deplete that resource. And so again, this is just an opportunity, nines, to take a closer look at what you're clinging to and find a way to move into a more healthy relationship with it. Then in the second week of October, we have this energy around justice coming in. So some kind of answer or clarification or just this feeling of a win, and I feel like nines need a win. So it's kind of like, if you're waiting on an answer from somebody or something, if you were waiting on, like, say, I don't know, a court case or something like that, it's kind of like there is completion and with this, and you're able to release it because it's done. Okay. And so it's kind of that feeling of, regardless of how the chips may fall, it's this feeling of completion and that you can finally be done with it. And so there is that energy around the second week. So, embrace that it's a beautiful energy. Again, even if the answer isn't what you were expecting to hear or necessarily wanted to hear, is this feeling of relief that it's finally done. Okay. And so that's kind of coming in around the second week of October. And then the third week of October, which is interesting, there's this sense of the need to release something. I'm really getting this really strongly with nines this month, is this need to release control, release the attachment to whatever this is. And to understand that whatever this is not defining you. It does not, it is a resource, whatever it is, whether it's a person, whether it's a thing, whether it's money, whether it's an energy, it's a resource. You have everything you need to be a whole individual. You don't need whatever this other thing is or this other person is. If anything, the resources in the external are meant to complement our journey. They are not meant to define our journey. So you may find this third week that you're really being asked to release whatever that was that you were clinging to at the beginning of the month, or that you've been clinging to. And that's not to say that releasing, when it comes to that time to release whatever this is going to necessarily be easy. It feels like something that you're probably pretty emotionally invested in. And that always comes with some level of grief. And so, of course, take the time to grieve that loss, and again, it can just be the release of a mindset, right? The release of a belief, whatever it is, but sometimes that can trigger some kind of grief for us. And so definitely sit with that emotion and feel through that and, work through that. Don't suppress it because it's just going to show up in another way. So this is an opportunity to release whatever this is, but then also move through those feelings that surface for you in that release. And to also be aware of the other, in that release, then you're opening space for something much more aligned to come in for you. And that is just waiting to come in, but it can't come in if your plate is full. And so it's kind of like at some point we need to clear the clutter. And in clearing that clutter, we allow space for something much more light and aligned. So I feel like this month is going to be a lot of that for you. and really taking stock of what no longer serves you and what is cluttering up your mind and your physical space. And so this is an opportunity to go through that and let that shit go. You know what I mean? It's like, and work through those feelings that come up for you and letting it go. But this is the time to do it. October is going to be an opportunity to do that. And with that 5 collective energy coming in, it's kind of like you have the opportunity to decide at this point to release it. And it's kind of like if you choose to keep holding on to it and clinging to it, chances are then the universe will step in at some point and release it for you. And so it's much more comfortable to be the one to be able to decide when something is released than to wait for the universe to do it for us. And so you may find that theme come through for you this month. And if this message is for you, you're going to know what this is. You're going to know what this is. And if this doesn't resonate, then chances are this message is not for you. But for those nines that this is, hitting a chord, then you already know what it is that you need to release or what you're clinging to so tightly that you're missing out on life, right? So, and then we move into the 4th week of October. And again, it's this energy of finding your balance and again, taking a closer look at what are you taking on that is not yours. It's not even your drama to take on. So why are you taking it on? Why are you trying to carry it? Nines, with that, that humanitarian energy that you carry with you as your life force, a lot of times you can take on other people's energy and other people's drama or trauma and try to fix them. And this is an opportunity. October is an opportunity for you to take stock of what's yours and what is not yours to carry. And it's okay to show up for somebody in support, but there is nothing that says that you have to take on their burden. Because remember, we're all here for our own experiences and our own lessons. And those lessons are ours to learn. And when somebody else tries to take those on for us, they take our power away. And you don't want to take somebody's power away. So if you've taken on something that isn't yours and you just feel overwhelmed and burdened by it, release it, give it back to that person to work through. You can always be supportive of that person and help them along the way, but you don't have to take it on. And so I think there's this really strong energy the 4th week of October to really find your balance, delegate what you need to delegate, release what you need to release, and lighten the load a little bit, nines, okay? I get this feeling like you're just taking so much on. And so much of what you're taking on isn't even yours to take on. So take a closer look at that and see what you can sort of divvy back to the people who you've tried to save, right? And that's not a judgment. That's just really part of your nature to be that humanitarian and try to, save people, right? But we ultimately find out that we can't save somebody. They need to save themselves. We can be a support system to help them on their journey, but we can't save them. And so if you're taking on more than you need to take on, and this is an opportunity this month to really dive deeper into that and see, why are you trying to take that on? Why are you trying to, do something for somebody that you're not meant to do? And so I pulled an animal spirit card to kind of see what the overall energy was for you for this month. And you guys got Bobcat Spirit, which is really beautiful. It's this message that life is a mystery. And really what I get from that, nines, is that, again, it comes back to that feeling of needing to control, the outcome, needing to control or hold on to somebody so tightly so that they don't leave you, holding on to your money so tightly so that it doesn't leave, right? Or, so you don't lose it, or this constant feeling of lack or unworthiness or whatever. And with Bobcat coming in, it's like this message to say, we're not meant to know everything. We're not meant to control our experiences. We're meant to experience our experiences. And if we're trying to control them, then we are keeping ourselves confined. And so at some point we need to surrender to the mystery. At some point we need to surrender to that life force that's out there that's guiding us, right? That we don't know all the answers and we're not meant to know all the answers. The only thing we can do is maneuver through our experiences with the tools and the resources that we have without trying to take on more than we need to, right? And without trying to control or attach to something because we feel like we won't survive without it. We will survive without it. And so again, where we release one resource, we find another resource. And so again, it's just when we can kind of release that grip, then things become so much less stressful, okay? And so I think it's just this call, nines, this month to release what is no longer yours or what no longer serves you. Find your balance, go with the flow, and just see where life takes you, okay? Yes, you have to still show up. Yes, you still have to make an effort. Yes, you still have responsibilities and obligations. That's okay, but you don't have to hold on so tightly. Everything is going to work out. Everything is going to be okay. Just, if you're standing on the shoreline, step into the boat and hold on to the oars, right? Lift them up. Don't try to keep swimming upstream or paddle upstream. Let the flow take you where it wants to take you, and then see where it takes you, and then find the resources in that new spot, right? So life is a mystery. Release some of that control. The more you can go with the flow this month, nines, I think the more comfortable it'll be. The more that you can release those things that no longer serve you and that aren't even yours to carry will feel so much lighter for you. So however this comes in for you, however it resonates, but definitely strong energy around what are you clinging to? What are you attached to that you need to release? Okay. Or at least loosen the grip a little bit. So I hope that it's a beautiful month for you. I think it's going to be truly a transformative month for nines. But nothing you can't handle. And where it's taking you you'll be grateful for, right? So I hope it's wonderful. I hope that you move through this as comfortably as possible. If you would like a personal reading, then please book some time with me. I'd love to see what's coming in for you specifically, and we can work with those energies. If not, I will see you again here soon. Take care, nines. Bye-bye.